John, how much does the audience's receptiveness affect your performance on any given night?
Well, it affects me quite a bit. Maybe I'm overly sensitive at times. Well, that's good, though. I think that keeps you... Because I said I begin seeing people come out, as I mentioned earlier, that do their act, and regardless of what is happening, go right straight ahead. It's like, I'm going to do my 30 minutes and get off, and that's it. I find that very uncomfortable if I'm out and things maybe aren't going the way. I will start to switch, or I'll fool around, or I'll do something. So I think you have to work your audience. Now, of course, being on television every night, you can't do that all the time, because I realize I'm paying to 10 or 12 million people, and there are only 250 in the audience. So you can't be overly concerned sometimes about your audience reaction. You still have to play the show, basically, for your home audience, which consists maybe of 5 or 6 people in a room. When I'm out on the nightclub floor, or in concert dates, now it's a little bit different. Now they're all there.
Do you find it easier to make people laugh in a nightclub than on television?
I think you have a little better contact with your audience there. Of course, in a television audience, you have many distractions going on. You got to remember, when people come to see a television show, most of them have never seen a TV show before, and they're rather entranced with what's going on. They see all the cameramen, the lights, the technicians scurrying around, so they've got a lot to obscure their point of view. When you're on a nightclub floor, you're standing there, you got them, and they have to look at you if you're talking. So television does have its problems to the standpoint of comedy, and always has had, for guys who come out in front of a microphone stand, because there's so much going on. The audience is sitting very often behind the cameraman, or they see them. Yeah. Cameras are moving, and makes a certain distraction.
Most all comedians have a theory or two as to why an audience can be more responsive on certain nights than others. What do you think the reasons are for this phenomenon?
I don't think there is any reason. I have never in my life yet learned how to tell on any given night what kind of an audience. I don't think any other performer has either. I think it simply comes down to the very fact that, let's take our show. We have 270 seats. On any given night, you're going to have 270 different individuals from different parts of the country, different people, individuals, human beings. That's reason enough. You could do, theoretically, suppose you could go out and I could do my show tonight, and I do the monologue and I get great reaction. Now let's assume we clear the studio, and I bring 270 new people in, and I come out and I do the monologue the same way. Same timing, same inflection, same delivery. I'll get a different reaction. Now, is that because I performed differently? Not particularly. It couldn't be. Let us say, theoretically, I did exactly the same timing, same delivery. But all of a sudden, it's not playing as well, or it's playing better. Simple fact is you got 270 different people in there with 200 different senses of humor. So I don't think there's any, say, given night that Monday night audiences are down, or Saturday night audiences are necessarily going to be gangbusters. I've seen it work both places. I played Vegas, where you think, gee, Friday and Saturday may be gangbusters. Your audience can change. You may turn out Monday night, all of a sudden you've got a completely hysterical audience. Whether it's the certain rapport within the audience, I don't know. I've never been able to analyze it. They just change. At holidays, you can be a little more sure, because very often in holidays, especially during Christmas holidays, people get a little tired. They've been out shopping.
I've also thought the possibility that during a holiday situation, for example, entertaining in a resort area where people have come for a vacation, very possibly they're more relaxed and more apt to respond a little easier.
That's very often true. Again, in Las Vegas, you see, where people get surfeited with entertainment, is a little bit different. Because you got to remember, when people in Las Vegas they'll see a dinner show, they'll go see a lounge show, maybe 3 lounge shows, another show. They may have been there 3 days. Now, that's completely different than an audience, for example, who goes to a concert, like on a Saturday night, where it's a special thing they're looking forward to. They haven't seen 6 other shows. You walk out, it's something they've looked forward to, they've planned. You're going to get a completely different reaction. But that, I think, you have to learn to play.
It's basically the same thing having to work the Catskills, where if you're doing the show on Saturday night, that week they've already seen 5 other comics.
That's right. They've seen the guy Friday afternoon, they've been sitting around, and they've been playing Simon Says and tumbling. And now they've seen, as you say, the Friday night, and you're on Sunday night. Okay, fella, let's see what you can do. Now it becomes a challenge, you see, to the audience. So there's really no accounting for audiences outside of, you say, a resort. They may be in a mood. But on a general thing, I think it just is that you've got a different mixture of people, different senses of humor, and provided you could do the show exactly the same as you did it, you very possibly get a different reaction. I never know how to figure.
The thing sometimes that distresses me and that I have to control myself with is that very often you'll be doing the show and may not be getting the volume of laughter on the same material that you got the night before, but that audience has enjoyed themselves just as much, and very often will give you just as big a round of applause.
Well, I've only played the Concord once, and I went up there, and I didn't think I was doing well. I don't know why, because maybe I didn't hear it or something, and I walked off to a standing ovation, and I came back, and they're still standing. I went off, and I came back. They're still standing. It was tremendous. Philly Greenwald came back and said, well, you know, and I thought when I was out there, I wasn't reaching them. So that you have to keep into account. It's like working in a veterans hospital. You're not going to get a lot of laughs. They appreciate it tremendously. You'll walk off almost sometimes to just little nods or silence, and then the guys will come back afterwards and says, gee, you don't know how much the show meant. But it can be kind of depressing when you're out there. So I think you have to learn to read that.